It's Sunday. I actually been out of town the last couple days. I was in. I'm not even up here on the screen. There we go. I was up in Annapolis visiting a dear friend of mine who had a book release party, and I'm back. I'm back in black. Got my black shirt on, and I've been on since we hit 5 million subscribers last week. Woo! Can't even believe it. Pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. Looks weird when I look at it. Aaron just put up that we're going to run the complete Beato method sale as a 5 million subscriber celebration up through Friday at midnight. Really was... let me tell you what's in that, because Aaron's going to text me to say, what is in the sale? What is in the sale is all 6 of my courses. My Arpeggio Masterclass, which we're going to talk about in a minute. My Beato ear training, which we're going to use. That's got hundreds of training modules to improve your ear. You may not have as good an ear as my son Dylan, but you can have as good an ear as anybody. Actually, having relative pitch, great relative pitch, is much faster than perfect pitch. And you don't lose your relative pitch. Everyone that has perfect pitch loses their perfect pitch, pretty much. I say that, but some people in their 70s, my friend Pierre says that he has people that he knows that are in their 70s. Keith Jarrett has not lost his perfect pitch. But pretty much most people lose their perfect pitch in their 60s. Quick Lessons Pro. Some of this is going to be quick lessons. It's going to be quick lessons style of talking about the deck. And I'm going to tell you a little story here in a second. My music theory for songwriters, which is exactly that. It's a music theory course for songwriters that want to increase their vocabulary of things they can write. It talks about melodies, talks about harmony, using chord substitutions, things like that. My beginner guitar. I ran into somebody on the plane that was like, I want to get your complete bundle because I want to learn how to play the guitar. He said, and I was laughing. I was like, what's stopping you? And then the Beato book interactive, which started all of this. That's what I've been working on for like the last 40 years or so. That is it's a 500, it's a video course, but it was based on a 500 page PDF. Thank you, Danny. Appreciate that. Beato bundle is worth it. Woo! Let me tell you a little story here about undergrad and about learning something that really confounded the other guitar majors. And all 6 courses for $109, which is $18.16 a piece. I think somebody figured that out. Okay, so I want you to follow this for a second. So my guitar teacher, Steve, even though I was a classical bass major, I still took jazz guitar lessons once a week. But the other guitar majors that Steve would teach, the other jazz majors that he would teach, he would say, don't play the 4th on a major chord and don't play the 6th on a minor chord. And it confused everyone. And they was like, I don't understand that. And so he said, well, the 4th on a major chord or major 7th chord is dissonant. I'll show you what he means here. So let's say that I've got a D major 7 chord here. Okay. Here's the 4th. Okay, that sounds dissonant. You can hear that, right? Wants to resolve to that note. So don't play that note on a major chord or on a major 7th chord, okay? And he said, don't play the 6th. So he's talking, when he says don't play the 4th, he's talking about the 4th note of the scale, right? That's the 4th note of the major scale. So D, E, F sharp. That's note G, the 4th note of the scale, over the major chord or the major 7th chord. And then the 6th chord, let's say you have B minor, I'll play B minor 7 though. don't play the sixth. That would be the sixth note of the scale. So that could be this note, or could be this. He said not to play the sixth note on a minor chord. But the reason you didn't want to play it on the minor chord was a different reason. Let me just show you these things. Let's say you got D major chord, D, F sharp, and A, and we'll use C sharp. This equals D major 7. I'm just going to hold it up so you can see it. So these are the notes here. Santiago, thank you so much. How to avoid wrist pain and tendonitis? Don't eat any carbs. That's actually true. And don't practice when your hand is really sore. Those are, and don't try to overstretch things. But honestly, if I don't eat any carbs and I have tendonitis, I have a little bit of tendonitis in my bicep, in the muscle under it, and if I limit my carbs, it goes away. I'm not a health channel. I'm not giving health advice. I'm saying what works for me. Okay, so you got these notes. This is the 1, 3, 5, 7. Root, third, fifth, seventh. But if you look at a D major scale, D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp. Okay? If I just do the numbers, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? You can see this chord right here, this D major 7 chord, right there, right? You can see those notes, D, F sharp, A, C sharp, 1, 3, 5, 7. This note here is the fourth. That's the one that sounds really dissonant against it. So, it's like, well, what do you do? Just avoid that note. And he called it an avoid note. Okay, so follow me here. So, instead of saying, here's the scale fingering for it, he just said avoid it. Okay, so if I avoid that scale, that's how you play that scale. If I play the chord again, check out the chord, right? So we got, hold on, I'll do it like this. So that scale right there, I'm going 1, 2, 3, skip over the fourth, 5, 6, 7. So that is actually a hexatonic scale. I'm playing 1, 2, 3, 5, 6 of the scale. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, right? So these notes right here. This book is heavy. So I'm going to show you this scale that I played. This is a 6 note. This is a D major hexatonic scale. Hexatonic is not important. It's just a fancy name for a 6 note scale. Hex, you know, like a hexagon. There it is. D major hexatonic scale. I just put the notes, the lines under which notes of the scale. But in practical sense, if I were to make a chord grid like this, I used to do this so much. Hope you can see this. This would be the 10th frets right there. This is a D in the key of D. That's a D major hexatonic scale right there. You can screenshot that if you want, or you can just get it from my Beato book because it's in there. That major hexatonic scale. It's also in Quick Lessons Pro, okay? And I have it all over the neck. Well, the other thing, when he said don't play the sixth on a minor chord, so if you got B minor, it's a 6th note of the scale, so if you think B minor, so if I take the B minor scale, or That's a B minor, straight B minor scale, B natural minor. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That note of the scale. The sixth note of the B minor scale is the note G. It's the same thing, same note as it is in D major. So the B minor hexatonic and D major to hexatonic scale have the same notes in them. So you leave that out. So I play that over a B minor chord, which I'll do here in a second. Here's B minor. It sounds fine on it. Now, the reason that he did not want you to play that note on the B minor chord is that if you're playing a chord progression like a 2-5-1, the notes B minor to E7 and then to A major 7, he doesn't want you to give away that sixth note of the scale. Not important there. One of the things that sounds great about this is if you take this hexatonic scale and you just build chords using just those 6 notes. So if I do that, let's say we just take B minor and I'll use this B minor hexatonic. It's the same notes as D major hexatonic. We'll just do it so you can hear what it sounds like. So if I play the B minor chord scale there, those are the chords. Really beautiful. If you play them in single notes, it's really beautiful sounding. So those chords were all the notes of B minor. That was that B minor hexatonic scale, leaving out the note G or G sharp. If it were Dorian, it would be G sharp. If it were Aeolian, it would be G natural. I'm just leaving out the 6th note of the scale, whether you're playing a Dorian, whether you're playing natural minor or Dorian, doesn't matter. That note's not in there. So that B minor, right? We're going to take a look at this here. I'm going to write it on a different piece of paper here. The B minor scale, let me write out the B minor chord so you can see what it looks like. I'll say B minor 7, B, D, F sharp, A, has the 1, 3, 5, 7. If we look at a B minor scale, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G, A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, there's the scale right there, okay? You can see it. I wrote out the chord, the B minor 7 chord, B, D, F sharp, A, so that's 1, 3, 5, 7. If you look at the scale, you'll see this note here, this 6th scale degree. That note right there, we are avoiding. So the only notes that we're playing in our hexatonic, our minor hexatonic scale, is B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, A. So that's the 1, 2, the flat 3, 4, 5, and the flat 7. This is a B minor hex. Right here. Hold on one second. There we go. That's the scale. You can screenshot that, or it's in my courses. It's in the Beato book interactive that you can get for $18.16 a piece. There's a Terge I know some chords. How do you use your courses to progress? Terj, that's like a Norwegian name, I think. Is that right? Terje, I know some of your courses. Wait, I use some of your courses to progress. Obviously, the beginner one first, but which one after? How do you use the courses to? How do I use your courses to progress? Great question. So I would say, if you are obviously the beginner one first, but if you're not a beginner, and where do you start? Well, you figure out where I would start with one course. I would probably take my Beato book interactive. I'd probably start there, and I'd start going through it, flipping the pages until you find something you don't understand, and I would start there. And that's where you begin, and you'll start. And wherever that is, you start watching the videos. Because I have lectures. I have some 25-minute lectures in there on music theory. I have demonstrations that you can click, and you can hear sound examples of all the stuff in there. There's tablature. There are chord grids, everything. So that's the way that I would do that. I would take one thing, but I would move around and listen and see what is interesting to you. The Arpeggio Masterclass. So some of the things I'm doing, I'm teaching you music theory here, but I'm also showing you lines, right? So we talked about this, using this on this B minor chord, these chords, this hexatonic chord. So I've got this. And I would play it and sing in those. So I played those as chords and as single notes. And then I would do... Now, I just added a couple extra notes to those arpeggios. Suzanne, Rick, I just emerged 2 hours of your ear training practice app when you're live. Hold on. Hold on. Just emerged. I like that. Emerged. And there I'm now live. I can recognize major 7 versus minor 7th chords. Great tool. There you go. Yes. You want to be able to recognize major 7th chords or minor 7th chords. So what did I just do there? I took these chord structures that I played. I took them and I played them as held chords. Then I separated them, played them as arpeggios. And then I just added a couple extra notes to each one. I went. So I went to that 9th note. I got 1, 5, flat 3, 5, 9, flat 7. It's really pretty against the chord, right? Listen. Then I went to D major. So I did, that's the 11, that's the 9. Beautiful. Then I went, that's the 6th that Steve used to say avoid. That note is a great note. That's the natural 6th. Do you hear how that sounds beautiful against that chord? I'm playing B minor 11. Love that. I think that's so pretty. So I added in that 6th note occasionally in there for color, and I didn't just rail on it. I just used it once in a while to go, ooh, oh, that's a good note there. And when you use things like these, just taking the basic triad, the minor chord of B minor, and then add a couple color notes to it, right? So I did 1, 5, 3, 5. Then to that ninth there is a pretty beautiful sounding. With this note. That note's beautiful there. That 9. I love that sound. That 9th is great. But if I use the 6th on there too, that's a pretty sound as well. That note. So that 6th note can be used just like the 4th on the D major 7 chord can be used, but you have to know what to do with it. So if I go to that D major 7th chord like I was talking about before, right? And I play this if I change it to the sharp 4, that's at sharp 4. So you can use the 4th if you use the sharp 4. It sounds better. The 4th sounds good too. The 4th sounds better just on a straight D major chord. If I have a straight D major. Once you add that major 7th in there, it gives you that dissonant tritone in the scale. When you have the major 7th in the chord, that note. So I played them all together. I like the sound of that, but if I play that sounds fine. Even when I put the major 7th in there. Yeah. And you notice that the overtones aren't dissonant like they are when I play that. That's just really, that's very ugly sounding, right? Doesn't need any explanation. It's like, okay, that doesn't sound good. But the idea to me, and the reason that I wrote my Beato book, because I had a different philosophy than Steve. So I went and got my master's degree at New England Conservatory, and I came back and I taught at Ithaca College, and Steve and I shared an office. Who was my guitar teacher. This is when I wrote my Beato book. And why did I write it? Because to me, it's like, well, first of all, on that D major chord, don't play that note. It's not don't play that note. It's learn how to use that note, and then learn how to play those scales without those notes. Learn that D major scale. So I can play that scale all over the neck because I learned all the scale fingerings and I put them in my Beato book. So if you get this bundle here, you'll have all those things in there. I wrote them out, how many years ago? 1988? How many years ago is that? That's a lot of years. 37 years ago or something. And then it was like, okay, and why do you do this? And then I explained all this stuff. I explained why you do this. Avoid notes, as Cool Paw just said that. That's what we called those. They were called avoid. That's what jazz players call them, avoid notes. No, it's you should say they're not avoid notes. They can be color tones. LOG1C. What's in the bundle? What's in my bundle? Okay, the Beato bundle here, the complete Beato method. This is my 5 million subscriber sale. Has my Arpeggio Masterclass. You're going to get these arpeggios that I just did. Right? Then it's got my ear training program. So you're like, oh, it's a minor chord. That's a first inversion major chord. B minor, first inversion, major chord, major chord, major chord, first inversion, major chord, root position, and be able to recognize these things, major chords. Ear training. Quick Lessons Pro will take things that are in there. Like I have one quick lesson in there that's something like this. It's not in this key, but... and I go and I teach a lesson on all the quick lessons. I have a bunch of those in there. I don't know how many there are, 20 some odd quick lessons. It's 5 hours long, my Quick Lessons Pro course. The Music Theory for Songwriters is a way, it talks about melodies. I analyze some songs and chord progressions and melodies of songs and what notes you want to use in your melody and how you want to build rhythmic motifs to spell out a beautiful melodies. And what are chord substitutions you can use to make your songs more interesting. Obviously, my beginner guitar course is literally that. And then my, like I said, my Beato book interactive, we've been talking about a lot here. So, so when I came back to Ithaca, I wrote my Beato book. It was much shorter. It was about 350 pages. And I used to have my students use it as their textbook. And so we would learn these things so I wouldn't have to write everything out all the time. Plastodon, you got the course. Yes, awesome. Love it. Course is somebody says, how much is the course? It's $109. It's normally $735 if you put them all together. But with a discount, it's like $18.16 a course. I think it's an amazing deal. I don't do any ad reads. I had somebody ask me about this. It's like, why don't you do ad reads? And I'll tell you why I don't do ad reads. Because I don't want to sell. I don't want to sell anything and read something about some supplements or something or some VPN or something. You know, I'm not going to do that. I don't know. I mean, I don't begrudge any people or read stuff about some guitar company or do sponsored ads. I don't want to do that. Just all the chord forms of the book pay for themselves. There you go. I have a whole little section of chord voicings using open strings. And there's really hundreds of chords in there. Because I always just tell my students, be like, find great chords that have open strings in them. Take advantage of those strings there. And really you can use them to write songs. I have a Billionaire song that was the one, if you saw our reunion thing, my old band, I have this song, I Fell From Space. It's actually in drop C sharp. But the riff goes like this. You use open strings. Hold on. I love this. It has these flat 9 intervals in there. Ooh. I just think that sounds great. You may think that sounds bad, but you're wrong. No, I think it sounds beautiful. Loved your Arpeggio Masterclass. Not sure how to start approaching stacked triads. I mean, triads that aren't the same notes. Where do I start? Astrofrequency. Triads that aren't the same notes. Oh, yeah. So, you can start them a lot of different ways. One of the ways is the way I just was climbing up the neck, but sometimes I do things like this. I talked about this a couple live streams ago. So I took some triads from the key of B minor. I did D major, A major, E major, B minor. These are in the B minor. That's beautiful. I did E major, B minor, F sharp minor, C sharp minor, B minor. Or those are beautiful. I did a little D major 7. So I've practiced those arpeggios many, many different ways. I have all these things in the Arpeggio Masterclass. I have ways to practice those in there. So that's so those are just some ideas there. This whole avoid note thing really is part of jazz teaching vocabulary that I just never agreed with, and I never taught that way. Don't avoid notes. Teach people how to use notes, how to use those fourths, make them sharp fours on major chords, or how to use the sixth on a minor chord. I get into that a lot in my Beato book Interactive, actually, kind of the theory of that. I get into depth on that, and that was kind of one of the things is kind of going against that orthodoxy. I never could understand it. I always thought that was a bad way of teaching people. The jazz methodology there was really bad with these avoid notes. So no avoid notes, Mobius. No avoid notes. It's like teach people how to use the notes responsibly, of course, right? All right, you guys are amazing. Beato Complete Method available. All 6 of my courses. It's my 5 million subscriber. I can't believe I'm at 5 million. I think I'm at 5,010,000 now, something like that. Let's see. Let me take a look here. 5 million and let's see here. Am I at 10,000 yet? 5,010,658. I'm already at 5,010,000. I'm already heading to 6 million. Hit subscribe if you haven't done that. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Appreciate you guys. You guys are the best. We'll see you.